Aloha, everybody. It's Jonathan with the amazing Arwen, professional joy seeker and writer of many books. um, we are here to talk about the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck that I actually won from Arwen. And actually, it's funny how often like a deck you weren't even looking for turns into one that you're just like, what? First time he totally called me out, right? So there's a spread in here. Let's see, it's that one at the back, the Gentle Creatures spread, right? And card number 2 was how can I let go of things that I worry about more than I should? And the card I pulled for it was quit.
Just stop.
Just stop. I'm like, okay. Oh my god, I loved it. No, but the whole spread was just like pretty amazing, and
Thank you.
really called me out on things. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from this little deck.
You'd expect it to be soft and fuzzy and warm. It has slapped me upside the head.
Gentle creatures will gently nudge you where you need to be going.
It's like
Aloha Selkie, aloha Jamie Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. Welcome, guys. So this deck was actually created by Dan May, and you wrote the book. Yes. How much influence did you have on the deck?
In terms of the artwork, none.
None.
He gave us I want to say 54 cards. And there were a couple that didn't make it into the deck because one of the things we wanted to do was to make sure we had some of the sideways cards. For me as a reader, it's a little startling to be laying these cards and then get one that goes horizontal instead of vertical. But right. I see it as a pay attention. You need to shift when you get the sideways cards. US Games has a completely landscape deck. Tarot deck coming out soon. So
oh wow.
Yeah. I didn't have anything to do with it other than admire the art.
Okay. Describing the art, which I mean, I love the book and the way you've written the little stories about each card and how you just kind of draw us into the image. So I love it.
When I do oracles, I want people to I have a lot of people that say, I love this oracle. I don't use the book. And I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use my own book quite frequently, just to be honest. And I don't remember what I wrote for a lot of them. Like the key in that deck, that's one of the first ones I got to write.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the key is still the name of it. But it's, and some of them, they have names that the artist named them because that's their vision. But when I look at the card, sometimes their name doesn't work. And so I completely alter the name. And I did chat with Dan May via email a couple of times and showed him some of the work I was doing. And he liked it. So that made me feel very good.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned the landscaped cards. And I actually took a picture of the spread. And I wanted to show you that two of the landscapes came out.
Oh, you got Road Trip and is that Stories down on the bottom?
So number 1 was Road Trip, 2 was Quit, 3 was All, yes, and 4 was Stories, and then 5 was Turn Back.
Oops.
I'm like, huh, okay.
Sorry.
Quit and turn back. Oh, okay.
Right.
I guess I need to change my stories, don't I?
So we are not messing around today.
Like I said, the cards called me out.
Jamie said I don't know if Jamie's a she or he, but they said they want this deck because of that Quit reading.
Yes. I sent her the image. I'm like, oh my god, there's deck gave me such a crazy reading, and she's like, oh my god, I loved it. Number 2 was Quit. Like,
just what somebody with a Libra moon needs to know.
I
Great.
know, right?
But if I quit now, will everything else be weighed out? Because then I don't want to be unbalanced. Yeah.
Right.
Well, will I be in harmony?
Right. So I'm a Virgo sun, Taurus rising, Libra moon.
Oh, so quit's super easy. I mean, just drop it.
Just drop it.
Taurus and Virgo are going, I will stop when I want to stop, and you can't make me.
Uh-huh. And then the Virgo's like, should I? I mean, the Libra's like, should I stop or should I keep going? I'm not sure.
Right. And I need to talk to my Virgo and Taurus selves because they feel a little cranky right now because somebody told them. So I've got to smooth the path.
Welcome to my brain.
Yeah, I have Aquarius rising, Pisces sun, and a Scorpio moon. Wait, what? Who said what? I got to go somewhere. I'll be right back. When they diagnosed me with ADHD, I should have said, oh, yeah, I knew that. But because, yeah, I've got all the wander and very little of the focus.
Very little of focus. I love that.
Except when I'm writing.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this card. I haven't even seen this one yet. Guardian.
Yeah. Yeah. That one, I have to be honest, when I saw it, I really thought of the movie, the animated film, The Guardians. I don't know if that's the right name, but they're owls.
Oh, the Guardians of
Guardians
Gold or
of,
something?
yeah, the Guardians of, yeah. And so that's what that made me think of.
Right. Aloha, Beth.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome, everyone coming in. Sorry if I missed saying hello to anybody. Arwen's too fun to play with.
Whee!
So, did you have a hard time with any of these cards as far as like the write-up?
Yeah, some of them I had a lot of difficulty with because when I write these, I want to fall into the card. I don't want to get stopped by somebody's
Right.
writing.
Mhm.
Loss was actually one of the more difficult ones for me because I didn't want to. I want decks to be balanced. I don't want them to be all fluffy, and I don't want them to be all bitch slap. Right? I want them to be
Right.
somewhere in the middle. Oh, there's a Regina in here. That's my sister's name. I just talked to her this morning. Hello, Queen. So
Aloha, Regina.
with loss, I knew the concept, but I'm like, what if somebody pulls that and they've just actually lost somebody? Would it be comforting? Would it be not comforting? And so I have to kind of put that in my head and think about my audience. I always assume my audience is empathic, intuitive, open to the wonder of the world, I guess. And this one is Dan has built such a beautiful world with his creatures.
I want to go into this world. It's gorgeous. Oh, here's one of those.
That one I loved because that one was like immediately. Because I looked at that and I was like, why are you looking behind? What does that bird represent? And it also puts me in. Can I sing you a song?
Sure.
Okay, everybody knows Daisy, right? Daisy, Daisy, tell me your answer true. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. I can't afford a carriage. It's not a stylish marriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. We know that, but do you know the response? Harry, Harry, this is my answer true. You're half crazy, I'll give that to you. There doesn't need to be a carriage, but for there to be a marriage, I'll be damned if I'll be crammed on a bicycle built for two.
So that's what pops into your head when you see this. Okay, that's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Right. Yay! And I never claimed to be a singer, so no complaints.
Jamie mentions that she has your Mapping the Hero's Journey with Tarot.
Oh, good, Jamie. I hope that helps you. And if you'll give me feedback on it, I'd appreciate it. I had somebody tell me they'd really like to, if I had done more spreads and shown the spread layout. And I'm kind of thinking about redoing that because apparently I edited and proofed my own book. Bad. Very bad. I know better. I write fiction books. I've got 9 novels out with my writing partner. So I know better than to proof my own stuff, but there's a lot of errors in it, little grammatical errors and things like that. So I'm going to redo it. Yeah, I'll put that on the ADHD list. And
yeah, the list that never ends.
Yeah, I woke up this morning with a list of to-dos in my head, and oh my gosh, Aspasia, thank you. You're so welcome. I did not know that other people knew the Harry part because everybody sings Daisy, but nobody ever thinks about a response. So, yay! I'm so glad I was able to do that for you.
Those two and Pony Boy.
I don't know Pony Boy, but
yeah, I'm a Pony Boy. I don't think I've heard that one. Jamie says she would never say no to examples and more examples.
She's probably an air sign too, right?
She's an earth sign, actually. She's Taurus.
Oh.
Oh, and funny that Conjure is the next one though.
This one and Guide almost got switched because Guide looks so much like a wizard, but this guy is the full moon, the owl coming in, the fire, the staff. It was just like, oh, he's creating, he's conjuring what he needs, what they need. All of the general creatures are they.
Them.
Because in our world, we need more affirmation of non-binary language, right? We just need it. But in the book, you will find where I've lapsed and gone back to, I know there's at least one he in there because I'll be 61 in 7 days. Yeah. And I'm pretty indoctrinated to she, he. So I'm learning. I've got several friends who are non-binary and who are they, them. One is a ZZ. So, and I have to, but they also said if I just did they were fine with that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few friends that are either non-binary or transitioning.
Yeah, I've got so many friends in the trans community. That one actually isn't hard for me. If they're just switching pronouns, I'm pretty good at that. Because I've had trans friends for 15, 20 years now. So it's that's
well, I find it interesting. I have a couple of trans friends who prefer they them.
Oh.
No.
Oh, now see, none of mine do yet.
At this point, it's a spectrum. There is no like specifics for me.
Yeah. And I'll just ask somebody, even if I met Jonathan in person, I would just say, what are your pronouns? Because I think it's a good thing to lead with now. You know, it's respectful.
I usually go he, him, but I'll answer to they.
Yeah. I do she, her, and are you hungry?
I love it. Oh, harbinger.
Yes. That word, the harbinger or harbinger of spring, the bringer, the person coming in and you know, everything arrives with this card. And that's kind of, for me, you know, what are they foreshadowing? What are they foretelling that's coming your way? And for me, that card, I would probably, unless it specifically answered the question, I would probably draw another card to see if that was what was following.
Right. Okay.
You know?
And I noticed the 6 and the 7 in the image itself.
Really?
I noticed there was which one? There was another one.
And
there was another one that had an 8 floating in it.
Aspasia just said that she or they are 67. So I wonder, you 6'7" comes up.
Oh. Right there when the 6 and the 7 shows up.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Isn't that funny?
And then I just noticed that the Guardian, the little guy is staring at an 8 in the ground.
Yeah, I see. I saw that as a lunescape, the physical infinity sign. So that's cool. But yeah, the 8
light bulb.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what I love about symbols. One of my biggest lessons as a reader, as a professional reader, was getting the 10 of Cups from the World Spirit Tarot, which used to be my primary. And then, you got the dog, you got the kids, you got the 2 people. And I said, oh, it's a card of happiness. It's the happily ever after. You get the picket fence, you get the partner, you get the kid, you get the dog. And they went, dog? What? Don't be mean to puppies. They had been bitten when they were very, very little. And they were terrified of dogs. It was a phobia. From Chihuahua to Wolfhound, they didn't care.
Any dog.
And I was like, oh, everybody's symbols are not the same.
Right. That makes sense.
As a queer femme, I should have known that because, used to be my symbol of happiness was not a boy and a girl on top of a cake. It was a girl and a girl, or a woman and a woman, and a man and a man. Now I'm married to a guy, so now my symbols on the cake can be just about anything. But so yeah, it's symbols, and that one of the things you do as an oracle writer is you want to be kind of loosey-goosey with nailing down symbols and saying this has to mean this.
Right.
I'm such dogmatic is probably not a word that could get applied to me in most areas. Other than animal care, I will be dogmatic as snot if you try to feed a grape to a dog or a cat. But because when you look at
macadamia nut, no macadamia nuts.
I did not know that. Now, I had birds, and they got just about everything. So, but avocados, no avocados for birds. So,
it's funny how much our food is poison to our pets.
Right? And then we're just like, want one?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jackie.
Aloha, Jackie.
So what do you see? Because you saw the number. Oh, peace.
Peace comes up for me right now. Yep.
Yeah.
So
they're leaning back on the tree. They're just like, I'm kicking back, man.
Yeah, no. So for me, those numbers, it was almost like the creature is following this trail of numbers through the woods.
Oh, cool.
But it's almost like a countdown, right? The harbinger. So 7 to 6, and then probably off the card here is 5, 4, 3.
I love it. I never ever saw that. So that's fabulous.
I'm just seeing things because it's like I haven't really played with this deck a lot, just a few weeks. But it definitely fills me with wonder.
I love telescopes. So that was an easy one for me. Because the wonder of the world, and you look in the telescope and it's like, wow, all the things you can see. Don't look at your neighbor's backyard, people.
Unless they want you to, and then that's between you guys.
There are those people. And I don't say anything bad about them because I've known exhibitionists, and okay, you go on with your naked bad self. But
this always brings to mind the wonder I feel whenever I see the Milky Way, right? Because it's always like we're always surrounded by light, and when you're finally in that space where it's dark enough, you can see the swath of the Milky Way. That's what that brings up for me.
The street I live on, and in fact, the neighborhood I live in, there are not a lot of street lights.
Mm-hmm.
We have front porch lights, and some of us have like yard lights. 2 houses down, I've got a friend that's a neighbor. I love his wife, and he's an astronomer, an amateur astronomer. And when there are big events, he will like text folks and say, "Do you mind shutting down the backyard lights?"
Mm-hmm.
And we're all like, "Click." So
Yeah.
that he can get out there and see more of what he wants to see.
We're lucky because we're like in a corner lot, and on the other side of us, like on one side, yes, there's all the houses and streetlights and stuff, but our upstairs lanai is facing the other way into a mango orchard. So there's not a lot of lights over there. And so if I go upstairs, I can actually get a really good view of the stars. I mean, it'd be better if it was more dark, but it's like probably one of the best star gazing houses I've ever lived in. So
yeah. Oh, in a mango grove, do you get a lot of cool birds?
oh, all kinds of birds. Yeah. The previous peoples brought tons of songbirds here to Hawaii. So most of the birds I'm seeing are not native. But I mean, I've got 2 different kinds of song doves, spotted dove and zebra dove. I've got there's sparrows, there's Java finches, there's these little tiny Japanese white eyes, there's cardinals, Japanese cardinals. What else have I seen out here?
I'll have to look that up.
Hawaiian
I just learned.
Stilts. I've seen Hawaiian stilts. I've seen Hawaiian herons. Occasionally, nice. I'll see a pueo, which is the Hawaiian owl.
See, now I'm going to have to go on a hunt. When I kept birds, most of them were Australian, South American birds. You know, we had cockatoo, we had macaws, budgies, cockatiels, all the little, you know, we had some of the big ones. I had a green wing macaw. They're second or third largest of the macaws that we see. So, and he was hysterical.
My son is now obsessed with saving up $2,000 to get himself a macaw. Cockatoo. Oh, a cockatoo. That's right.
If I could give him any advice, I would tell him to get a macaw over a cockatoo, because cockatoos, you have to give them as much attention on day 9,000 as you give them on day 1.
Right.
And they are big old love sponges. So most of my birds were rescues. And so, you know, I get birds that would just spend time screaming for their past owner.
Right.
You know, and it's heartbreaking. But if he's only 8, it's a good time to get a bird.
Mm-hmm. Although, I mean, there's so many wild birds here. I mean, we go out into the park right here, and occasionally we'll see like a row of lovebirds sitting on the fence. So,
oh, cool.
They are so loud, though.
Yes. There are
one of our neighbors has a few of them living in their roof, and they said they can hear them screaming through the house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, lovebirds is a little bit of a misnomer, but I love them.
They're so pretty.
Beth is a Spazia, right? I'm trying to remember. She says there used to be a flock of parakeets in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Oh.
There are, in Austin, Texas, you can see monk parakeets, which are also known as Quakers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're mostly gray with a little gray chest, or mostly green with a gray chest. And they're colony breeders. So they will build these nests that are like the size. I mean, you could go from side to side, up and down. And there's like 50 or 60 of them living there. So, and they're illegal in some states because they are so adaptable to our environment. I think Hawaii has some restrictions about what kind of birds you can bring there now, because of
Right.
the non-indigenous species. The non-native species drive out and take over. You know, in Louisiana with the nutria.
Well, the other thing that the native birds here have to worry about is the wild cats.
Oh, right. Yeah, my
There's
cats were all
huge
indoors.
colonies of wildcats all over the place. People like adopt a colony and one by one get them all spayed and neutered, but there's always new ones coming in. So yeah, and at this point, most native birds are up in the hills, up in the mountains. You won't really find them down here. I mean, yeah, occasionally the bigger ones like the stilts and the herons, that kind of stuff is down here, still in the wetlands. But
I hear the dove right now, I believe.
Doves, yeah, they never stop cooing. They coo all day long.
I lived with someone who had a pair of them. I am not. Doves here, we have something called the Eurasian dove, and it's a non-native, and they have a horrible hoarse cry. I mean, it's like, wah! So they will beat. I've seen them land on sparrows to get them off a feeder. So,
oh my god,
I object to doves as a symbol of peace.
Well, and the doves here, I think they're a little too inbred because the zebra doves, especially, they're just so dumb. Like, they will fly directly in front of your car as you're trying to drive. You're like, dude, are you trying to kill yourself? What are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, we have native quail here. We have Gamble quail and California quail and roadrunners. Roadrunners are omnivores. They're actually more carnivore than anything else. And the quail population, they will have, like 12, 13 babies. And we now realize it's so they can actually have 2 or 3 left at the end. Because the roadrunners decimate them. I've got my neighbor has coveys, and it's just 2 big fir trees, and the coveys live under the lowest branches. I've seen Cooper's hawks sitting on my back fence going, about quail time. So, and the roadrunners will whip down the back fence, and they also on the roof. You'll see roadrunners on our roofs around here a lot.
Wow.
But they're cool birds.
Yeah, here we have francolins. They look kind of like a quail, bigger version of a quail. And they're more runners than flyers.
Yeah. And they're hunted. They're good eating. Sorry, y'all, I'm from Louisiana. They're good eating, aren't they?
I've heard. I don't know. I've seen them everywhere, though, from the beach all the way to the very top of Haleakala, and they're everywhere in between. So,
well, I've seen pictures.
And they're really cool because they run around in little family units.
Yeah, that's what these quails do. One will go like, and then mom and some of the babies will come by. But the way they run, because they're like this, but then when they get to running, they're like, it's great to watch. It's very, very entertaining.
It's amazing, the bird life here.
Yeah.
It's really the only life. I mean, we got some land creatures like the cats and the mongoose and the boar and the
you have mongoose?
And goats. Oh, and the wild goats. You're right. So we do have some wildlife, but not a lot.
I love mongoose.
Big wild predators.
Yeah, no big wild predators.
Do you have lizards?
We have lots of lizards. Yeah.
I had a bird. One of my birds was a half moon conure, and they're about that big. I mean, they're very small, smaller than a soda can. And her name was Tavi, because Rikki Tikki Tavi. I don't know if you're old enough to remember. They used to do a cartoon. It was one of those things they rolled out every year. Rikki Tikki Tavi was a mongoose, and it was about how he saved the little boy from Nog and Nagini.
The King Cobra.
Yes, I would love to see a mongoose. Yeah,
they're so I'm putting together a Hawaiian Lenormand deck, and I'm putting a mongoose card in place of the fox card.
Yes, that's perfect because they are a little tricksy.
They are. They're tricksy and they're conniving. And
And they could go
I
in
know
and
people who have ranches up here who they fight them because they're killing
yeah, they're
chickens and
very
all kinds of stuff.
destructive. We have raccoons here, and much as I love raccoons, if I had chickens, I would have to have like a coop and then a fence that was like a good 3 feet out from the coop, because they will reach in and yank them through.
Wow.
Yeah. And we have foxes here, so but yeah, I love that. I love the idea of a Hawaiian Lenormand.
It's a work in progress. There's a couple cards I need to fix because it just didn't really fit the Hawaiiana theme. But as soon as I get it all set up, I'm going to put it on make playing cards for everybody to know. So. Cool. And I'll probably do one of these with like a little intro to the deck and maybe do some.
Nice. Well, let me know. I'll let folks know too, because I don't read Lenormand. It's too literal for me.
Too structured.
And I've got such an oracle brain now that even tarot reads like oracles to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull the Lover's card from the Gaian, which I happened to pull before this just to see where we were going. And, I'll look at that and I go, oh, bee. The bumblebee is very important. It's like, we were looking at the Lover's card, Arwen. I know. Come with me.
Just go on the journey. Enjoy the journey. It's about the journey and not the destination.
I read for other professionals, and that's one of the things. When I have a professional read for me, I have to make a commitment to myself that I will quiet my tarot brain as much as possible, because the message another professional gives to me may not jive with how I would read the cards. But I didn't pay them to tell me what I think of the cards. Yeah. So, right. But it's fun. So.
Speaking of readings, does anyone want a reading with the Gentle Creature Wisdom deck? Arwen does not have her copy, so I was thinking about doing was I'd pull a card from the deck, and then Arwen would pull from the Garden Dragons.
Yeah. I've got mine in a Moonlit Fae bag. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
She makes the best bags. Zipper, lined, big. Oh, that's not my dragon deck. That is, that's the Illuminated Terror. I had it because I'm selling it and I was showing it to somebody. Well, flippity gibbet. If you want to entertain people for 2 minutes, I can go look. I think I know where it might be.
Okay, sure. I don't have a Moonlit Fae bag. I've been wanting to get one though. So Jamie says yes to reading. Jackie, I think yours sounds great for a reading as well. Is that right? So Jackie and then Jamie. Okay. Let's see what kind of energy we're going to get once Arwen can find the deck. Yes, I love Arwen's energy. Let's just pull a couple cards for the collective while we wait. Oh, we got Guardian, followed by Drift. I just pulled some random cards for the collective.
Ooh.
I got Guardian and Drift.
Trust in the journey, baby. You are protected and you can just
drift through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're guarded. You can just let life steer you as it will.
Yeah. No. I found them. I found my dragons at least.
Yay.
The creatures are at my office. So sorry. I didn't even think, gee, Arwen, maybe you'd like to have your deck.
There's the ADHD, right? Oh, Jackie did come up with a question. Is there anything I need to look out for this week? So I pull one, you pull one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have Jackie, then Jamie, then Beth. Jack, you need to look out for this week. Oh. Clearing. Time to start clearing your spaces. All right. What do you get?
Peanut butter dragon. Companion.
Oh, peanut butter dragon.
Find a friend to help you right size things. And that's, I guess, the new word instead of decluttering is right sizing. The summer issue of the Cartomancer is going to have some articles on right sizing. Yeah, because decluttering makes it sound like it's kind of bad that you have all that stuff. Wasn't bad when you wanted it. But yeah, maybe find somebody to help you and keep you on task in clearing yourself or, your space.
Well, I love how the gentle creature has this bird helping carry away the egg full of troubles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely it's time to find someone that can help you clear out those things that no longer serve.
Yeah.
Right sizing. Jamie's like, right sizing?
Well, y'all need to subscribe to the Cartomancer. It's a lovely magazine. I used to own it, but I don't anymore. But it's a cool magazine. It's a journal for the divining community. So lots of good stuff in there. I have a skip to fill out.
Who owns that now?
Amber Highland.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Who you should totally have on this show and let her talk about the Cartomancer because it rocks.
I will reach out to Amber. Do I think I have Amber on my friends list. I know the name.
Is this for Jamie that we're doing now?
Yes,
or who are we
this
doing?
For Jamie. This
General
one's for Jamie. I just got distracted because I noticed Jackie's response. Ooh, sounds good. I have a dumpster to fill up. Oh.
Very cool.
There you go. Clearing clutter. So Jamie wanted a week ahead reading. Okay. Okay. Support. Lean on those who are there to support you.
Y'all, I did not stack the Jeff, but I got grape jelly, which is the other half of peanut butter dragon. Childlike. Play more, Jamie. Get a little more fun and a little more silliness in your life. Mm-hmm. Find support in how you play. If you don't play enough, do it more.
Yeah. I see this little guy sitting on top of the big guy.
Yeah.
Looking at the littlest little guy, and I'm just seeing you like go for like a hike with some friends, just get out and be able to just like vent, right? And have those people there for you to help remind you how to play.
Maybe do a follow the leader hike. I don't know if you've ever done one of those. We did them in Girl Scouts, and follow the leader hike was whatever the leader did, everybody behind you had to do it. And if you had a good long group, the leader was changing before the last one got to the so you'd be skipping, and as you skip, then the leaders changed to hopping or whatever. Somebody asked about the decks. Jackie, I'm using my Field Guide to Garden Dragons.
I'm using Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck. Arwen wrote both the books for these. So our next one, let's see, where's Beth? So Beth, did you have anything specific or just a general? It takes a second to catch up. Here we go.
What energy should I focus on right now to uplift my spirits?
Oh, friendship.
And I got vulnerable, the peach dragon.
Friends that you can be vulnerable with. No.
Yeah, and
I know you have friends that you can be vulnerable with, and this is definitely, I feel like it's asking you to like have a conversation with them, and that would uplift your spirits.
And Beth, I will tell you that I have been in a depression, a really bad depression lately. I've been depressed all my life. It's just part of who I am, but my depressive episode has been so much worse lately, coming off the tail end of, quarantine, and now I don't want to go out and see people because they might have germs. But being vulnerable with safe people, with those friends that, like this guy, this little girl is listening to the creature tell them what their problems are, because they know nobody's going to laugh at them. Nobody's going to say, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Beth, are you doing that again?"
Right.
When you're a depressive person, you got to find friends who can put up with you. And I totally get it, honey. And I tell people seek joy, and that joy can be little tiny things. Like hearing a dove made me happy. Little. It didn't keep me happy, but and I just kind of build on that till it snowballs, right?
Mm-hmm. You pick up those sparks of happiness when they show up.
Yeah. And eat a peach.
You need a peach. Jamie says, I agree with you both, but I'll have to attempt that after all the nonprofit crap is done. Then I will play.
Jamie, you can play right now by writing a fake. Don't do it in your email, because trust me, I've hit send on these. Writing a fake email or writing on paper about exactly what you'd really like to tell people. And then laugh your ass off as you throw it away, burn it, whatever it takes to not hit send to a newsletter of 203 people that starts with, well, these stupid newsletter people, I don't think they even read the newsletter. Guess what? Over 150 did. You're welcome, honey.
And Beth says, yes, I actually woke up thinking about my friends and ways to reach out to them.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, Jonathan, when you've been in places where you needed to ask for help, you're great. If somebody says, hey, Jonathan, I need an ear. I need some help. Super. That's what I'm built for. And when you actually need to ask for help, particularly given your Virgo and Taurus, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
So
true.
I think we're raised that way. I think humans are raised to reach out to others, but if somebody reaches out to you, somehow you're broken or wrong or bad. And so we don't want people to reach out to us. It's hard to receive. I just
feel like the last 2 years have broken us socially.
Yeah.
Like no one remembers how to be social to each other anymore.
I shook my waiter's hand last night at the Olive Garden. He was saying something. He pointed to something on the menu, and I thought he was putting his hand out to shake, and I shook his hand. Talk about a faux pas. I mean, even he looked like, lady's touching me. I've never done that in my life, y'all. I mean, the hell? And my husband's looking at me like,
what did you just do?
Yeah. So, do we have anybody else that wants a reading?
Yeah, we got some time if anyone else would like a reading. Beth says, thank you so much. And Jamie sends you lots of hearts. Oops. Yeah. Right.
He's looking.
Well, and then there's those
him.
friends that you used to hug every time you see them, and now it's like, do we hug or just wave at each other? What do we do?
Wakanda. That's what I've been doing with a lot of people. It's the Wakanda. But yeah, I asked. I said, "Are you hugging yet?" I need that physical contact. I have missed hugging so much. I volunteer as tribute, Regina says.
Oh, Regina volunteers as tribute.
Okay, Katniss. Do you have a specific thing you want week ahead? You got any specific areas you want us to read for you?
Or just in general, Regina? This is why I was supposed to have my phone set up so I could actually pay attention to the chat. Although I noticed lately there's not as much of a delay. General energy for the rest of the week.
Okay.
Oh, that's appropriate for her. I pulled create. Grab that spark of creativity and just start creating. Don't let the waters rush and drown out your spark, but just keep going higher in the water and just keep creating.
And I got Squash, who is the opinion dragon. And don't anybody squash your creativity. Opinions are lovely. And what is it they say about opinions and some part of our rectum? We all got them. So, and what RuPaul says, if they're not paying me, I'm not paying them any mind, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like other people may come in and kind of try to live your life for you. I tell people, don't let anybody be a backseat liver. And
I love that.
So yeah, live your own life, and your opinions count, baby. They count.
Yes. Oh, is that like a little insect down there by the dragon's foot?
Yes, the dragons have that is a squash moth. They have different moths and critters that are associated with their plants.
Because I know Regina likes making wirework creatures, so.
Ooh, make a moth.
Make a moth.
Fry a squash blossom. And if you haven't had a fried squash blossom,
oh my God, it's so good.
Right? But yeah.
Actually, the first time I ever had a squash blossom, you just brought back a memory. I was in Rome visiting my aunt who lived there at the time, and she took us to a street pizzeria, and she's like, you have to have the squash blossom pizza. I'm like, what? Okay, if you insist. This sounds weird.
Yeah.
It was one of the best pizzas of my life. I mean, okay, first of all, the Roman pizzas are unreal how good they are. They crunch all the way through.
Oh, my husband would love those. He wants a crispy pizza.
It's perfectly thin, perfectly crispy, and yet the topping is still soft and gooey, and that crunchy squash blossom on top is just so delectable. Yeah. Thank you for that memory.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Good pizza should be remembered.
Especially now that I can't eat them anymore.
No gluten,
dairy, and nightshades.
Well, you need a good. Have you tried a white sauce pizza? Have you ever had a white sauce pizza?
I usually use pesto for my sauce at this point. So, because a lot of white sauces are.
Oh, Alfredo sauce is very dairy. Yeah, there's a vegan Alfredo sauce out there that's not bad. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I had a friend that introduced me to white pizza. It was chicken and Alfredo, and
white pizzas are. Back in the day when I ate everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nightshade. So that would make me very sad. I'm like, no tomatoes?
No tomatoes, no potatoes, no bell peppers, no peppers of any kind. Yeah.
What about aren't mangoes somehow in that or no?
No blueberries.
Blueberries. Okay.
No blueberries.
I quit. Blueberries possibly my favorite, second only to banana. So
Oh, I can eat lots of bananas. I mean, they grow here, so.
nice.
In fact, our neighbor has 2 bunches hanging over. Yeah. Oh, we got some too. Yeah, we got. It's funny too because people don't understand that the banana tree is actually a grass. So if you plant a single tree, especially here where it's tropical, you're not going to have just that one tree.
Oh wow.
It's going to then start sending out shoots, and pretty soon you'll have a banana grove.
Can't say that's a bad thing. No? I like it. Thank you, Regina. She says it did resonate. Our readings resonated. Good.
Well, thank you for this, Arwen. Do you have anything else coming out soon?
I am in the works on another deck with Lisa Hunt, and it's going to be called The Field Guide to the Flower Fae.
Yes.
And it's in the works, which means we haven't even turned it in yet. U.S. Games has accepted it, but we're now working on. Lisa's like so meticulous with her paintings, y'all. These things are going to look like botany quality. It's really amazing. And
I've seen her posting a few of them. Oh my God.
Yeah. If you don't follow Lisa Hunt Art, she's got a Facebook group or page. Yeah, you get to see all sorts of things. And that's the pastoral tarot. That's the tarot I was talking about that's going to be totally landscape.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a Lisa Hunt deck that she's, they're in the print mode right now. So.
Right.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, I actually just recently got a used deck that she did the artwork for. It's the Shapeshifters Tarot by C.J. Conway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have a couple of her kits for sale. I have my own copies, but I have some duplicates like Animal Divine and a couple of those and some old Baba Studios like the Alice Tarot and stuff like that. So trying to get them out the door. This is part of my right sizing. This that you see behind me right here, that's a bunch of my for sale decks. So
and how can people find them? Find you on you?
Yeah, you can find me by Tarot by Arwen, just about anything.
Yeah, and there's a link for the main website in the description below.
Oh, good. And come visit me on Discord. That's actually where Jonathan and I kind of really connected. So,
yeah, actually, let me see. Do I have that handy?
And Discord, a lot of people think it's only for gamers. I actually joined it because I do game. I have one game that I play obnoxiously called Game of Sultans. It's sexist. There's so much wrong with it. I adore it.
Let's see. I think I can. I think this will work. So there should be an invite for Arwen's Discord channel now in the chat. Hopefully it works.
Cool. I'll see where it takes me.
Okay. And I was actually joining your Discord channel that I ended up with this deck.
Yes, you won it. Mm-hmm. Let's see what it says.
Yeah, Arwen does giveaways like once a month, and it's pretty amazing. And there's just so many amazing people in the group. Great discussions.
It's a lot of
fun.
I've
noticed that a lot more people are moving over to Discord.
Yeah. Benabel Wynn is there. Jamie Sawyer, Moonlit Faye is over there. A lot of us are leaving Instagram. We're leaving Facebook. We're leaving all of this because there's so much drama on Instagram. How many times have you been cloned so far, Jonathan?
Luckily, my account was small enough that I don't get cloned. but I am constantly getting friend requests from people or follows that from people I know are already on there. And I'm like, wait, okay. And I look, where's the extra number or letter or dash? Yeah, that's a fake. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's record it.
I got followed by Tarot by Arwen. I thought, why would you follow me, you dum dum? I may have used different language, but so yeah, but y'all come
Oh my
visit and say
God.
hi, and we just kind of hang out there and chat. It's pretty low key, and I like it.
Yeah.
So, thank you
Discord's kind of
very
cool
much.
because it's just like you can have threads. So if you're like, there's a discussion you're not interested in, you don't go to that one. But there's
Yeah.
like 50 million other ones you can get involved in. And
Yeah. And I learned
yeah.
that you can mute them. You can mute notifications. You can mute a thread so you don't even see it. So
I'm
and
still
I
learning
love that.
Discord, but I like what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And it's more about community there, which like I don't get as much on Instagram anymore.
Yeah. Me
Or
either.
even Facebook, really. I mean, if you have a group, that's great, and people interact there. But I notice a lot of the groups that I even in, like the activities, kind of dwindling.
It very much is. And part of it's because I really think that with COVID and here in America with our political situation, we've really been divisive and nasty to one another. I've been personally nasty to people that I used to be friends with, and I'm not very proud of it. But I've
Right.
kind of drawn some lines about what other people support. I'm usually pretty okay with, but there are certain lines
Exactly.
for me. So, but Discord's fun. And we've got a small Discord. Bennabelle, bless her heart, she's got like this ginormous one and such good discussions. They've
Oh
got
my
study
God.
groups,
Yeah.
right? And mine's like maybe 100 people, and we're eagle.
I
Yeah,
still like what
and
we talk about in your group, though. I mean, there's some good conversations in there.
we have a lot of fun. We do, and we even have a Dungeons and Dragons thread. So because that was something that a bunch of people started talking about, so I started a thread so everybody could go there, and I love it. So I just found a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. In fact, I'm going to post it Discord. So, but yeah,
Well, I
y'all come
love how
visit.
many people in the tarot community are gamers.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And then we got Jamie Alford, who's like written game books as well as the tarot books, and
yeah. Jamie's I forget it. She writes for, is it White Wolf? I don't remember, but I know she's written
it
for some of
was
the.
White Wolf. White Wolf doesn't really exist anymore. Now it's
Did Blizzard eat
what's it
them?
called? Onyx Path, I think. So what happened was White Wolf back about 20 years ago now got bought out by a company in Iceland, which was a computer game company, which I don't. But they got bought out, and then they started basically like shutting everything down in White Wolf. And so a big group of the White Wolf original people broke off and created Onyx Path so they could continue those storylines. They got the licenses back from, I think it was CCP or CPP was the name of the company. And they were supposed to be doing a Vampire the Masquerade game, which they never actually came out with.
Was it going to be a LARP?
It was supposed to be a computer game.
Nice.
Where you get to like design your, it was, like World of Warcraft kind of idea, but vampires. But it never got made, and it just got shelved. And then the rest of White Wolf got shelved until this group was like, can we buy the licenses for these games back so that we can at least start making these games again? Nice. And so now they're doing stuff like the original games are coming out with 20th anniversary editions, and now they're coming out with their own new stuff too. I I have some of the books here, but we're not here about role playing games. But like Trinity Continuum, this was a Kickstarter from Onyx Path.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So,
I worked for AT&T, and we're a bunch of geeks when you're in the tech department. You just are as geeky as you can get. And one of the guys, in fact, I'm still real good friends with him. He knew I liked tarot and that it did tarot. He comes in one day and he just drops a box off, and it's this big, it's purple, and it says Mage the Ascension, the tarot deck.
mm-hmm.
And I looked it up, and I said, dude, do you want this back? You can list it on eBay for blah, blah, blah. He's like, nah, just take me out to dinner someday. And yeah, that one. It is actually a very collectible deck now.
Yep.
So
I also
don't know
have
mine
this
is.
one.
Ooh,
Mage the Awakening.
Is that older or newer?
This one's newer. This one came out in. Is there a date in here? This one came out when the New World of Darkness was out. Let's see what the book says. This one,
we're now
2009.
How geeky we really are. I started playing when it was Dungeons and Dragons, and there was no A on it. But I also played, and I'm still trying to desperately find
somebody my red box over there
who remembers it was a role-playing game, and I think it was called On Guard. You were musketeers,
mm-hmm.
and the whole role-playing was building up your character, training, fighting, and engaging as a musketeer. I can't find hide nor hair of it, even on the internet. I don't know if I'm not searching correctly.
I vaguely remember that from when I worked at the game store, but I never had it myself.
And it's basically like a book and dice. It was just
right.
It would make a great LARP. Can you see me running around with an epee? Stephen, yeah, I was a freshman in college in 79. I graduated high school that May. And when I went to college, that's when I got into D&D.
So Jamie says that that link doesn't go anywhere. So what I did
had to copy and paste it.
There we go. I copied the invite link this time, and here we go. This should work. This is to Arwen's group. It popped up on here, but I don't. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So if you want to join Arwen's group, this is the Discord invite right here. So, because apparently that other link went nowhere.
It went somewhere for me, but that may be because I'm currently logged into Discord at the bottom of my. I have notifications turned off, but yeah, I'm looking down and seeing 9+. Ah! That's why I turn things off, because otherwise I'll be on my computer going la 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 la. Oh, look. Yeah, and see, on me, I'm already on it, so it just automatically says we're launching it. So
right.
Yeah.
Aloha, Stephen. Wow, RPGs and Tarot. Sweet. Was introduced to D&D in 79 and Vampire the Masquerade in 90s. Yep.
I remember VTM. I never found a group that I could go play with, unfortunately.
Oh, see, my group back then, that was pretty much the only thing we played was White Wolf games. We did lots of vampire, werewolf, maid. Maid was the one we played with the most. Some changeling.
The last computer game I played was Myst. So it's been a day.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I personally, I got so into the tabletop and like being social with my gaming that the computer stuff just kind of started falling away. And at this point, I don't even have a console of any kind.
Yeah. I think that's what Discord was started for, actually, was to make it more social. Because on my gaming channels for Game of Sultans, I play 2 characters on 2 different servers, but I've got my server groups for both, and we chat back and forth and show pictures of kids and cats and dogs, and it is more social. And that's, that, yeah, I agree with you. That's the point of
Of the
D&D
game,
to me, was finding other weirdos like me,
right? Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I've got my game wall right behind me here. So
I'm still friends with some of the people I gamed with in college. And one
there's
of
my
them is,
game wall.
oh man, one of
With my
them.
board games up there.
Now, what's your favorite board? Now, do you play, is it Catan, the Settlers, or
I do love Settlers of Catan. That one was
Catan?
a fun one. Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Agricola was amazing, but not a lot of people want to play a board game where the whole premise is you're a farmer. Another one that was really fun was the Battlestar Galactica board game.
Ooh,
But if
I
you
like
hadn't
that.
seen the series, it was kind of a spoiler.
Oh,
What
yeah.
other ones do we have up there?
Bye, Beth.
I've got quite a few up there. I actually have some Kickstarters up there I didn't even get to play yet. Like Enchanters. That one's a good one. But one of my favorites is actually Sushi Go.
I've heard about that.
That's just a fun little card game where it's like you're handing your hand to the next person. So it's like you're at a sushi boat place where like the sushi's going around the conveyor belt.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of idea.
I've been to one of
So
those
everyone starts
once.
with a hand. You pick the card you want to keep, just like you're picking it off of the conveyor belt, and then you hand your hand to the next person to the left. And it
Oh,
just
that's
keeps
cool.
going that way until all the cards have been picked out, right? And then you tally up what you got.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah,
You
that
keep the
was a
best
really fun
sushi.
one. And I have
Yeah.
some up here that were like super old back in the day, and now you can't find anywhere. This is the one that I played way too much of in the 90s. That's the Plague and Pestilence game.
Oh, how fun. Now, I love the old card games like Meal Born, which nobody plays anymore, but I love the silly game.
This one's fun because you're basically, each person is basically the mayor of a town in the Middle Ages. And so the beginning of the game, you're trying to build up your population because eventually the death ship shows up with the plague. And then everyone's population starts dropping. And the whole premise of the game is to be the last person with population in your town.
That sounds fun to me. I did play Sims for a while, but I kept, they just didn't do anything. And Second Life. Somebody got me into Second Life, which I don't think is a game so much, but that was an interesting thing to play.
Yeah.
I've probably died on Second Life. I've not gone back in, like, I don't know, years.
Trying to think of any other really, really fun ones. I don't know. We have a ton. Another game I have from the 90s, which is Slasher. Like the game itself is in this box that looks like a VHS box.
I don't do horror. Like the evening news scares the shit out of me, so I don't do horror.
I hardly ever play that kind of game anymore, But yeah, I was like a Magic the Gathering kind of player for a long time. If you want the feel of a D&D game without actually being in a D&D game, there's this dungeon roll.
Oh, how cool. I love the box. That's
the whole
great.
thing is just right here. That one's a fun game.
I'm going to Hawaii, and I'm going to just drop by Jonathan's about 3:00 on a Saturday. I'll have, something to drink and snacks.
Totally welcome. Me, oh God, I miss having game days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I miss, we used to have a potluck when I lived in Denver. My partner's last name was Tucker, and we all called him Mother Tucker. And we had Sunday at Mother's is what we called it. And we'd get anywhere from 10 to 30 people. And there were people that were gamers board games, tabletops, and they'd go off and start a game of Monopoly or whatever they were going to play. And We had kids in the backyard. It just, I loved it. You could find whatever you needed, somewhere. There were little quiet conversation groups and loud, raucous body groups singing the worst pagan songs you've ever known. And singing Minnie's the Mermaid and things like that.
I miss those days.
Yeah, they're going to come back and we're going to recreate them somehow. Somehow we will recreate them, even if we have to do it on frickin' Zoom.
Right. I mean, that's why I game these days. I have my old group from back in the late 90s. There's a small handful of us that got together to Zoom together.
How fun!
And we're playing a little D&D, 5th edition, of course. So.
I'd have to buy books. I'd have to, resupply. I'm sure my red book made it to a Goodwill somewhere that made somebody go, ah! But I actually have to jump, baby. I've got an appointment at 12:30.
Okay. I just wanted to show you real quick. Speaking of.
Yeah. The old game.
Thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast. For those of you who are my regulars, come back next week. What? Oh, I just noticed.
The Lost Tarot.
Jamie says that Lost Tarot is now shipping. Woohoo! I also back that on Kickstarter. So next week, speaking of Jamie, I will have Jamie, our friend Zane from Tarot Token Witchery, and Ethany, who we are going to be discussing the Penumbra Tarot. So.
And I cannot out-curse Ethany, so y'all will enjoy her. She is so amazing.
Yes. I had her on, I guess it was almost a year ago now for the Modern Love Tarot.
Yeah. I have my Penumbra somewhere.
I'm talking with her. Yeah.
She comes up with the best decks. Best decks. I will tell you all, whether we've met or not, I love you. And that's my goal in life, is to tell people I love them. We don't hear it enough, and we don't say it enough. So, I love you.
And I love you, Arwen.
Thank you, Jonathan. Seek joy, y'all. I'm going to go bye-bye, so y'all can...
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Aloha. Until